Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Good morning and welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan. It is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025.
And here in Sacramento, we're looking at some patchy fog this morning, but that should burn off for a sunny high of around 57.
A bit of a different story nationally, though. There's a winter storm hitting the northern mid-Atlantic and up into the northeast, and some heavy rain down in the southeast. So stay safe out there.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into our main stories, let's take a quick look at the markets.
Yeah, things are settling a little this morning after a really strong week. The Dow is down just a bit, about 0.6%.
But still holding on to some good weekly gains, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's still up over 2% for the week. The S&P 500 was, believe it or not, completely flat for the day, 0.00% change.
Wow.
But still looking solid with a weekly gain of 2.65%.
And what about Bitcoin? It's been on a tear.
It really has. It jumped over $2,000 yesterday, which is a 2.38% pop. The upward trend is definitely continuing there.
That is great to see. Now, before we jump into our morning star, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor.
That's right. This hour is brought to you by Old Glory, the iconic music and sports fan merch store.
They have some really great stuff, perfect for holiday gifts, especially for that techie friend who, let's be honest, probably has every gadget already.
A classic gift for a futuristic friend. I like it.
So if you head over to oldglory.com, you can use the promo code SNARFUL, that's SNARFUL, for 15% off your entire purchase.
All right, let's get into it. We've got 3 big stories today, really covering product, policy, and protection.
And we're starting with a big one. The rumors are true. Samsung is officially launching a phone that folds 3 times.
The Galaxy Z TriFold is here.
Yeah.
And yes, a triple fold. It sounds like science fiction.
It really does. I'm trying to even picture it. What does that look like when it's fully opened up?
You're essentially looking at a tablet that's been crammed into a smartphone's body. It opens up to a full 10-inch main display.
10 inches. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. It is. And the key here is that it's an inward folding display. Samsung's trying to really protect those 2 very complicated hinges.
Right, because the big issue with foldables has always been the bulk. I remember the original Z Fold from 2019. It felt like carrying 2 phones taped together.
Yeah, it was a brick.
So how did they solve for that, especially with another hinge?
Well, that's really the most impressive part of this whole thing. When the TriFold is completely collapsed, it's just 12.9 millimeters thick.
Wait, seriously, the original was what, 17?
17.1, so they've shaved over 4 millimeters off while doubling the folds. And when it's unfolded at its thinnest point, it's just 3.9 millimeters.
That's incredibly thin. That suggests a complete redesign of the hinge. They must have moved to one of those water drop designs to get rid of the gap inside.
Precisely. That's where all the material science genius comes in. And of course, to power a 10-inch screen like that, you need some serious guts.
What's it running on?
It's got a custom Snapdragon 8 chip, a big 5,600 milliamp hour 3-cell battery.
Much bigger than previous folds.
Much bigger, plus 45-watt super fast charging. And yes, it has that flagship 200 megapixel wide-angle camera.
Okay, so it's a beast. Let's talk logistics. When can people actually buy this thing and what's the damage going to be?
It's debuting in South Korea on December 12th. The price point is expected to be around $2,440.
Woohoo. That's a hefty price tag.
It is. And after South Korea, it'll roll out to China, Singapore, the UAE. But we have confirmation for the US in the first quarter of 2026.
$2,400 is a big ask for a first-gen device like this. We all remember the, let's call them teething issues of early foldables. How is Samsung handling that risk?
They're being really smart about it this time and pretty transparent. They're basically admitting that, this is bleeding edge stuff and it carries risk.
So what are they offering?
Every person who buys a Z TriFold gets a one-time 50% discount on display repair costs.
Oh, that's interesting. So instead of pretending it's indestructible, they're just building the potential for repair right into the deal?
Exactly. It's their way of saying, look, we know you're taking a leap with us, we appreciate it, and we've got your back. It's a pretty necessary safety net when you're asking people to adopt something this complex.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so from the high cost of new hardware, let's shift gears completely. Our second story is about, well, It's about financial access on a massive scale.
This is a really historic and I think strategically timed philanthropic move. Michael and Susan Dell have pledged $6.25 billion to seed investment accounts for 25 million American kids.
$6.25 billion. That's more than just a donation. Sounds like they're trying to kickstart a whole policy.
That's exactly what it is. The money is aimed at getting families to claim these new government-backed child savings accounts. They're formally called Invest America accounts.
Okay, so who exactly are the Dells targeting with this money?
They're basically filling a gap. The official government program is set to launch next summer, and it gives $1,000 to kids born after January 1st, 2025.
So what about all the kids born before that?
That's who the Dells are focused on. The 25 million kids born before 2025 who wouldn't get that seed money. The Dells are depositing $250 into accounts for those children.
Got it. So they're trying to make sure basically every kid under 10 today gets to benefit from this. Is it for everyone?
They're using some economic criteria. The money is directed to children living in ZIP codes where the median family income is $150,000 or less.
Okay, so it's targeted. So what's the big idea behind these Invest America accounts? Why is this such a focus?
Well, the whole concept is about long-term compounding growth and, frankly, financial literacy. The money is locked until the child turns 18.
And it has to be invested.
It has to be invested in a low-cost index fund, letting it grow with the market for, almost 2 decades. Then, when the child turns 18, they can use it for qualified expenses.
Like what? College?
Exactly. Higher education, a down payment on a first home, or even seed money to start a business.
So the goal here is to give millions of people a real stake in the system, a system they might otherwise feel totally shut out of.
That's the core of it. Michael Dell even said the goal is for kids to see a future worth saving for and to build hope and opportunity. And when you look at the data, in 2022, the wealthiest 1% owned almost half of all stocks.
Wow.
And the bottom 50% owned barely 1%. So this policy, supercharged by the Dell's money, is trying to democratize access to that wealth creation.
And it's not just their personal money, right? Dell, the company, is involved too.
Correct. Dell Technologies is going to match the government's $1,000 investment for the children of its own employees. It's a really interesting model, marrying policy, philanthropy, and corporate incentives.
That's an incredible story. Okay, let's pivot pretty sharply now to a very different kind of story, a reality check on personal security.
Yeah, this is a deeply disturbing one, but it's a crucial warning. It's about a massive IP camera hacking scheme that was just exposed in South Korea.
What are we talking about here?
South Korean authorities have arrested 4 people who managed to hack into over 120,000 home and business IP cameras.
120,000. When you hear a number that big, you assume it must have been some kind of incredibly sophisticated, zero-day exploit.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But that's what is so frightening about this. The method was, it was just baked in.
This is a vulnerability.
The hackers were mostly just exploiting simple security flaws. The big one, people not changing the default password on their devices.
You're kidding me. It was just default passwords.
That was the main entry point. We are talking about a massive criminal operation that was enabled by the simplest possible oversight.
That's horrifying. Where are these cameras located?
In the most private places you can imagine. People's homes, of course, but also karaoke rooms, Pilates studios, and even a gynecologist's clinic. The invasion of privacy is it's staggering.
And I assume the motivation was selling access to the footage.
Yeah, it was for profit. One of the suspects made over $12,000 from hacking 63,000 cameras. Another made over $13,000 from 70,000 hacks.
And they were selling these videos online.
They were. These 2 individuals were responsible for over 60% of the videos found on one illegal overseas distribution site, all from guessing admin and password.
So for anyone listening right now who has a camera pointed at their front door or watching their living room, what is the one thing they need to do right now?
The police warning is direct and it is urgent. You need to be vigilant and you need to immediately and regularly change the access passwords on your IP cameras and really on any connected smart device.
It's just a harsh reminder that your security is only as strong as its weakest link.
And that link is almost always a simple password. And the authorities are also stressing that just viewing or possessing this kind of illegal content is a serious crime itself.
It all connects, doesn't it? The complexity of a TriFold phone and the simplicity of a home camera. The human element, like choosing a good password, is the single biggest factor.
It really is.
Before we connect all those dots, let's quickly thank our second sponsor.
We want to recognize Skony, the premium golf shoes store. If you're starting your holiday shopping for the golf enthusiast in your life, Skony is definitely the place you want to check out.
They make fantastic, high-quality shoes. And you can use our promo code SNARFUL, that's SNARFUL, at checkout for 15% off your entire purchase. Just go to skony.com.
Okay, so looking back at our morning star today, we really saw three powerful forces at play.
We started with the physical limits of innovation. The Galaxy Z TriFold, which is pushing what's possible with materials, but also asking us to accept a pretty high cost and a high risk.
Then we saw the power of policy and private capital coming together to tackle a huge systemic challenge, wealth inequality, through the Dell family's commitment. It's about jump-starting a financial future for millions of kids.
And finally, we got that really sobering wake-up call on cybersecurity from South Korea. A reminder that no matter how advanced the tech gets, it can all be undone by our own simple digital habits.
Innovation, equity, and protection. The three big themes. And it kind of leaves us with one question to think about. As technology gets exponentially more complex, giving us triple fold phones and these huge new financial systems, are we trading convenience for security? And is policy the only thing strong enough to make sure the benefits of all this complexity are actually shared by everyone? Something to think about as you go update those passwords today.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.